On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm struggling to try to follow. Oh boy, man, I just can't. Like, you know what? I finally figured it out.
No, you can't understand.
Yeah, I finally figured it out. I got an issue when I don't respect somebody. It's hard for me to listen.
Modern women struggle with relationship skills. I'm gonna play this video for you guys real quick.
Why is this so bad for modern women? Well, unfortunately, ladies, this is where it's not your fault. You've been told to go out and get a career, get a job, focus on being you, and that's fine. But you've not been told that men are a priority or that you needed to practice your emotional relationship skills. You were told that you needed to bring resources to the table. Well, let me run it down this way. High achieving, intelligent women can sometimes struggle to have the same success in their romantic lives as they do work. When I say modern women, this is what I'm talking about. A modern career woman. You achieve well at work. And in your mind, you're not understanding. You think, wait a minute, I'm an intelligent woman. And guys would think, well, she's an intelligent woman. Then that means she should make smarter moves. No, 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 no. She's book smart. She's business smart, but she's game goofy and relationship dumb. She's practiced her book smart. She's practiced her business, but the relational stuff, the interaction stuff, she's game goofy. She's no, her muscles have atrophied. And this is why so many people like the I'm a PhD clip, because
I'm a PhD.
it tends to be the women who are the PhDs and the masters and the people who have the most degrees have the worst relationship skills. Why? Because they have the most educational attainment and they spend more time becoming a professional, self-sufficient, secure, independent, and never learned how that being interdependent was what was the long game.
B next, Kevin Samuels again, and you heard his definition of modern women. How do you feel? Do you feel like modern women struggle with relationship skills?
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm struggling to try to follow. Oh boy, man, I just can't. Like, you know what? I finally figured it out.
No, you can't understand.
Yeah, I finally figured it out. I got an issue when I don't respect somebody. It's hard for me to listen.
You know what, Phoenix? That is true about you. That is true about you.
Yeah, and I don't even know this guy personally, but he, hell no, I don't. He doesn't align with my way of thinking, my worldview. Two different people. It just so happened we're both men, we're both black, but that's about the only thing we got in common. So the thing is, I was trying to still listen to what he's saying. So I guess so it makes it seem like there is an issue if you find an educated woman that her level of education or professional success presents a barrier. But why? That's the part that, like, I think that is that a man's issue? The fact that a man is vulnerable, that they can't be able to understand and match a woman that is educated and professional. Because the thing is, I don't care whether you're a man or a woman, you do enter the room and you command a certain level of respect in a professional setting. To me, I respect it. I love it. You know, I want somebody that I'm able to spar with, right? That I'm able to have these negotiating type of conversations with. And I'm going to try to not to use the word, but you know where I'm going with this. It's like, it sounds like you want somebody to submit. And I know we had a guest on the show and he was talking about you have to submit first. I get that. And maybe I'm trying to move beyond the naming convention of this. But It sounds like this brother is saying that, oh, the woman is too strong in order to know her place, that she's not able to be this docile person in order to receive and allow the man to lead. You know, so the thing is, I think there are men out there for women. Anton will just say they some simps. You know what I mean? Just some beta
man.
What low level, not high level, but like mid level, whatever you want to call the type of man.
Mm-hmm.
I just want somebody to match me. That's it. I mean, what
That's right.
Buddy is talking about, he represents a different audience that I can't relate to. I don't know. It's just trash, man. Like, that's Buddy's opinion.
The problem, Next, though, is that you're hearing him wrong.
I can't relate to him, Anton. So don't even try to give me like the rationale, and then JR gonna give me rationale too. I can't respect Buddy.
But he's not saying anything wrong, because he's not saying that there's anything wrong with strong women. He's not saying that at all. As a matter of fact, he identifies these type of women as high value females. He does. What he's saying is that there's a lot of women that he interacts with that feel or wear their career as a cape, and they use that as the justification for why they feel like they're high value when they lack the interpersonal skills.
I agree. I agree with that. But see, I agree, but that's not synonymous with women. So that's my issue. Because the thing is, I mentioned this earlier when we was talking about the last topic. I said, when we talked about who are high value men, right? And I said, this is somebody that is both professionally successful and personally successful. I said that 2 or 3 times. And the thing is, people think that they're synonymous with the two. They're different. We see men who leverage their professional success and they suck personally, and they try to leverage that as that cape that you mentioned. So the thing is, my only issue is that don't frame it like it's one-sided.
But no, but it's not one-sided, and he
do frame his things one-sided all the time.
He presented to me, I received that message as if it was one-sided.
It was really one-sided. That's the problem with him.
45-second clip. You can't take that level of detail and highlight just that out of a 45-second clip. Again, he says also, like, just because you make a lot of money as a man, don't mean that you're a good person. Like, you can be trash as a, man. That'll make you high value just because you make a lot of money. So in that same way, he's speaking to women to say that, it's not enough just to view yourself as high value because of what you've achieved in your career. There are interpersonal skills that you need to work on a social level, because when you have conversations with people, maybe you come off as arrogant. Maybe you come off as condescending. Maybe you don't give a guy that would actually add value into your life a chance, because you're so focused on the things that's completely based off of things that make you a vain person. And that's what I've taken from it. So what he's saying is women also do the self-development things that allow you to be socially interactive and attractive in that way also. And that way you actually can or will not have as much of a problem in the dating scene. That's all he was saying. Work on that inner self.
Like that, is that trait only found in high value women? Can't that be just found in all, like, not all, but women that are not of high value, that they have issues?
The trait can be found in both. I think that the trait can be found in both, but it's difficult to assess it in that way because, again, men and women look for different things in a relationship. So if I'm a man looking for a certain type of thing in a woman, the thing that attracts me physically to a woman has nothing to do, maybe her career, or maybe the fact that she's strong or she's able to communicate more effectively in a room full of executives is a smaller part of what attracts me to her. But that's not the thing that's going to keep me with her or makes me truly, that's maybe like number 5 or 6 on the list, right? But the thing that naturally makes me more attractive to a woman may be different from what a woman looks at a man, from an attractive perspective, because most women I know are more not just from a looks perspective, but they'll put looks on the 5th and 6th tier, right? Yeah. And say, I'm looking for a guy that actually can communicate and can provide more effectively than this guy that looks good, but may not have that quality. And so that's why I say that it's different in that way, because it's all because the thing that attracts us all differently from a male and a female perspective may be different. But I do still think that
No,
you need
I
to.
get everything you're saying, Anton, and I don't disagree with it. I admit I got an issue with him and the delivery. I'm sorry. I
You
have a
do.
thing
His
about
delivery.
I have a thing about messaging, framing, and delivery. That's a sticking point for me, man.
That's the truth, because to be honest, a lot of the way I think is aligned with some of the things he said. Not all, but the way he phrased it is problematic for me, and that's why I couldn't agree with him completely. So with high achieving women, I do agree that they try to appeal to men physically, right? Like, oh, I look good, I'm in shape, I got all this stuff, right? Or like you say, they try to use logically, like, okay, these are the things that I bring to the table. Like, I have my own house, I drive a BMW, I have these beautiful things, I dress beautiful, all this stuff, right? Or they try to hold themselves to a high standard. Like, oh, I'm this woman, like no man has ever been able to do this for me, right? So I have all these standards and this, that, and the third. And I'm not saying that doesn't attract men, but it's the reason why they don't get to the second level. Like, that's that man that's going to stay with them for 10 years and he's just going to be with them forever. But you cannot appeal to that man emotionally. You can't understand him or, think, I guess, just understand how he think and how he feel and why he feel that way, and show some compassion to him and like be able to relate to him on another level, then he's never going to marry you. He's just never going to move to the next level with you. And you can accomplish as much stuff as you want in your life, but men don't value that. And I think women have a hard time understanding that, because they feel like, well, I've done all this stuff and I'm the prize and I should be, but men don't value that. If you see the woman that they marry, it's the women who take care of them, who treat them like humans, who nurture them, who have this high level of respect for them. It's the things like that that women don't tune into, and they really get upset when you tell them to do those things. But it is the truth. It takes you from being that girlfriend to the wife. And see, a lot of us know that, and we do that because we are wives, right? That's how we think. And some women don't think like that. So that's all.
A lot of women think that developing the qualities that men have spent their entire lives developing also is a thing that men are going to be attracted to. And that's very much not true. I do not care whether or not you're an executive like I'm an executive. That has no bearing on whether or not I'm going to ask you out on a date. And I'm not saying that you being an executive is not going to take away from me asking you out on a date. But that's not the thing that I'm going to say. That's not the make or break. Is she an executive or not? That's not it for me. You know what I'm saying? So
that's why you see those executives marry their secretaries, because it's like they don't care about that.
Yeah,
you're
right.
They don't care about that.
And that's awesome. And I champion you, and I also push you to say, yo, be the best version of you that you can be. But then at the same time, there's some other skills in the same way that I have to work on. Let's just say, for example, effective communication as a man, right? Men, we always have this conversation or with women that say men don't communicate as well, and we always learning that skill, right? That's the thing that has to be identified and developed. That's something that I work on. That's the same thing for women, although it may not be that specifically, but there's some interpersonal skills that she needs to also to continue to develop in the same way that she's working on her career, that I personally find way more attractive and way more, way higher on my list of things that I would be interested in, and whether or not I would be actually considering whether or not she's wife material. So that's all he was saying. And maybe I just broke it down a little bit differently than
because he ain't said it like that. He said it.
And again,
he real shaky.
But realistically, that's what he's saying. He's saying that, yo, y'all wearing this as a cape, and that ain't what we looking for as value men. There's nothing wrong with it, but also look at these things that you're not. When you call into the show, don't just say, "Well, I make this amount of money." Okay, well, what does that have to do with what I'm looking for? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's all.
That's I mean, it's the truth. The more things you cop, the more accolades. It's not going to lead you to a better relationship. And I think that a lot of women don't understand that, right? They look at a woman.
I agree with everything y'all both said.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I guess we all agree on this one.
I'm surprised you tonight.
What you say?
I said I told Tawana I was gonna surprise her tonight.
He did. He did tell me that. I was like, nah, he ain't gonna do it. He did surprise me.